Witness is Mr. Paul Mirsky. He's the Senior Vice President and Chief Economist for the Independent Community Bankers of America. Mr. Mirsky has more than 25 years of government relations experience in the public and private sector. ICBA represents 5,000 community banks of all sizes and charter types throughout the United States. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Ranking Member Graves, and members of the committee. I'm very pleased to be here to represent our 5,000 community banks nationwide. Much Monday morning quarterbacking has been taking place with the economic stimulus package that was passed back in February. Without a doubt, the severe economic recession did require a sizable fiscal stimulus, and ICBA was pleased that in the $787 billion package, many good positive tax relief measures were included. While the bulk of the recovery package enacted did focus on spending initiative, beneficial tax relief and reform items are having a very positive effect. Specifically, tax items we see helping the economy include the $8,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit, the extension of the alternative minimum tax that prevented 26 million people from being forced into paying additional AMT taxes, and there was some beneficial tax relief for the municipal bonds. Additionally, the net operating loss provisions, the immediate $250,000 small business expensing, and of course the major SBA loan program enhancements are all helping many small businesses survive and preserve capital during this recession. However, the difficult credit market and a depressed economy continues to weigh very heavily on our nation's small businesses. ICBA believes additional targeted tax actions are warranted to boost our long-term economic growth. ICBA recommends and supports a broad 5-year net operating loss carryback, an extended homebuyer tax credit, robust SBA lending programs, and Subchapter S tax reforms. At a minimum, during these difficult economic times, the tax burden on struggling small business owners should not be increased. Additionally, for the stimulus measures to be successful, the unduly burdensome and overly aggressive bank exams that are taking place must be addressed. Community banks need the flexibility and the capital to support their small business customers back on Main Street America. One of the largest underlying problems preventing our economic recovery is still the housing sector. Millions of small businesses are suffering the fallout from the dramatic decline in the housing sector because 45% of small business loans are backed by some type of real estate collateral. Financial institutions in general have already written down over $600 billion in real estate assets, and that continues. Bank regulators are aggressively forcing even further write-downs, forcing banks to raise even more capital or cut back on their lending. This vicious cycle in the housing sector must be stopped. The current homebuyer tax credit is helping, but we recommend it being boosted past November and extended to all home buyers, not just first-time home buyers. The Recovery Act did include some positive Subchapter S reforms, but more can be done there as well. More than 4 million small businesses are structured as S corporations, including 1/3 of all banks. Given today's tight capital markets, attracting capital and funds is critical, yet the limits that are placed on sub-S corporations prevent them from raising capital. In order to increase the ability for small businesses to raise private capital, we should increase the number of allowable sub-S shareholders, allow IRA investments in sub-S corporations, and permit sub-S corporations to issue preferred stock. Given the financial meltdown was caused by asset concentration in the largest financial conglomerates, our tax policies must preserve a diversified financial system with capital available for community banks. ICBA supported an expanded NOL provision in the economic stimulus package, but more needs to be done there too, and other witnesses have already suggested Something we support is expanding that net operating loss carryback, which would preserve capital for businesses during this difficult recession. Today, more than half of all small business income earned in the United States is earned by pass-through entities such as sub-S corporations that pay the individual income tax. Therefore, Congress must be extremely mindful of how increasing the income tax rates will impact small businesses. In conclusion, the tax and SBA items passed in the Recovery Act are helping. ICBA pledges to work with the Small Business Committee to ensure our nation's small businesses have the capital they need to invest, grow, and provide jobs. Thank you.